My friend, the book you're about to listen to is the result of more than 25 years of research, during which Napoleon Hill interviewed over 500 of the world's wealthiest and most successful people, including Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and many of the leading billionaires of that era. From this monumental work came 13 principles of thinking, timeless laws that can help anyone, no matter their background, rise from nothing to achieve wealth and success. So listen carefully, and most importantly, put these principles into practice. Because this isn't just a book, it's a roadmap to prosperity. And don't forget to hit like and follow the channel so you won't miss more life-changing books on wealth and personal growth. Principle 1. Desire, the starting point of all achievement. Every great success begins with a burning desire, not just a vague wish, but a fire so strong it pushes you to take action despite obstacles. Napoleon Hill tells the story of Edwin C. Barnes, a poor man who dreamed of becoming Thomas Edison's business partner. Barnes had no money, no connections, but he had a fierce desire. He went straight to Edison and declared, "I want to work with you, not as an employee, but as a partner." Edison saw something different in Barnes's eyes, a determination that could not be shaken. And in the end, Barnes turned that desire into reality, becoming Edison's trusted associate. Hill emphasizes desire is not mere hope or wishful thinking. It is a longing so powerful that you are willing to give up everything to achieve it. You can't just say, "I want to be rich." You must clearly define the exact amount of money you want, the time frame in which you want to achieve it, and the plan you will follow. That clarity transforms desire into power, because your subconscious mind will act upon what you truly believe and repeat consistently. Napoleon Hill outlines 6 practical steps to turn desire into reality. Define the exact amount of money you want. Decide what you are willing to give in return for that money. Set a specific deadline for achieving your goal. Create a detailed plan of action and begin immediately, whether you feel ready or not. Write out a clear statement of your goal. Read this statement aloud at least twice a day, once in the morning when you wake up and once before bed, until you have complete faith that you will achieve it. Hill said, "A desire written down, repeated over and over, and fueled with faith, becomes an unstoppable force." Principle 2. Faith, the power to turn desire into reality. Desire is the starting point, but without faith, desire is nothing more than an empty dream. Napoleon Hill teaches that faith is a state of mind, one that can be created and strengthened through repetition, autosuggestion, and positive visualization. He calls faith the catalyst, the force that transforms ideas in your mind into concrete plans and from there into reality. If you believe you can become wealthy, you will act very differently than someone who believes they were born to be poor. Hill highlights the power of autosuggestion, the practice of repeating positive affirmations until your subconscious accepts them as truth. For example, instead of saying, "I'll never have money," affirm every single day, "I believe I will have blank amount of money by blank date. I believe in my ability and my plan. I believe the universe supports my desire." At first, this may feel unrealistic, but over time, these affirmations sink into your subconscious, turning belief into part of who you are. And once faith is rooted deeply within you, your actions naturally align with your goals. Hill concludes, "Faith is the bridge between desire and achievement. Without faith, desire is just an illusion. But when desire is reinforced by faith, it becomes a mental force strong enough to overcome any obstacle." Remember, You don't need to see the entire path to begin. You just need to believe in the first step, and faith will carry you forward. Principle 3. Autosuggestion, the tool for planting seeds in the subconscious mind. Autosuggestion is the bridge between the conscious and the subconscious. It is the practice of repeating positive thoughts, words, and images until they take root deep within your mind. Napoleon Hill teaches that you are the product of what you tell yourself every single day. If you constantly say, "I can't do it," your subconscious will make that true. But if you affirm, "I will achieve it," and repeat it with strong belief, your subconscious will begin to work in your favor to bring that desire into reality. In other words, autosuggestion is how you reprogram your mind to move towards success. Hill provides a clear method of practice. Write down your financial goal, exactly how much money you want, the deadline, and your plan of action. Read this goal statement aloud at least twice a day, once in the morning when you wake up and once before bed. Speak with faith and intense emotion, as if the goal has already been achieved. Visualize yourself living that goal, the money in your account, the home, the car, or the lifestyle you desire. Hill emphasizes, only when you feel your goal in your heart will your subconscious truly accept it. Autosuggestion can make you rich, but it can also keep you poor if you allow negative thoughts to dominate. Many people tell themselves, "I'm not good enough," "I'll never have money," or "rich people are greedy." And just as they affirm, their lives reflect those beliefs. That's why Hill warns, guard your mind like a soldier on duty. Do not allow negative thoughts to repeat themselves. Instead, plant positive seeds in your mind. Repeat them over and over until they become unshakable beliefs. Autosuggestion is the tool that imprints your desire onto your subconscious. Desire is the seed, faith is the fertile soil, and autosuggestion is the daily act of planting and watering that seed. If you persist, your subconscious will begin to attract the ideas, opportunities, and people necessary to turn your goals into reality. Remember this timeless truth: you become what you think about most of the time. So choose your thoughts carefully.
Principle 4. Specialized knowledge, the path to turning ideas into wealth. Many people believe that knowledge itself is power, but Napoleon Hill makes it clear. Knowledge only becomes powerful when it is organized and applied toward a definite purpose. There are countless people with advanced degrees who remain poor their entire lives. Why? Because they possess only general knowledge, not the specialized knowledge that solves problems, creates value, and generates wealth. In contrast, the wealthy and successful know how to focus on a single field, develop expertise, and then apply that knowledge toward their financial goals. Specialized knowledge doesn't have to come from a university. It can come from real-life experience, from your work, from books, from seminars, or by learning directly from mentors and those who have gone before you. More importantly, Hill stresses, you don't need to personally possess all the specialized knowledge you require. You can hire, collaborate with, or partner with those who do. Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, and Andrew Carnegie, three of the greatest industrial giants, were not geniuses in every area. Their genius was in assembling the right people with the right specialized knowledge and then using it to turn ideas into fortunes. Napoleon Hill writes, "The rich never stop investing in the development of their own minds." You can lose money, lose your job, even lose your possessions, but specialized knowledge is something no one can ever take from you. And if you have it, you can rebuild from scratch. So ask yourself, what kind of knowledge do I need to achieve my financial goals? Have I learned enough? What more must I study? Who can teach me? Investing in your mind is the single greatest investment you will ever make. This principle reminds us that wealth does not come from knowing everything. It comes from knowing how to use knowledge in the right way, at the right time, for the right purpose. General knowledge may help you survive, but only specialized knowledge will make you rich. So choose a field and train yourself to become the best you can be. Or, if you're a leader, learn how to gather experts around you. Because in the end, the difference between success and failure lies in your ability to harness knowledge. Principle 5. Imagination, the workshop of wealth. Napoleon Hill calls imagination the workshop of the human mind, because every invention, every fortune, and every great achievement begins with an idea. Look around you. The phone you use, the house you live in, even the book you're listening to right now, all of it once existed only as an idea in someone's mind. Hill points out that the wealthy differ from the poor in one crucial way. They know how to use imagination to transform desire into concrete plans. They dare to think of new solutions, to try, to innovate, and that creativity becomes their source of wealth. Hill divides imagination into two types. Synthetic imagination, the ability to combine old ideas and existing knowledge to create something new. For example, Henry Ford didn't invent the wheel or the engine, but he combined them into the assembly line that revolutionized the automobile industry. Creative imagination, the ability to tap into the subconscious and the infinite intelligence of the universe, producing completely new ideas. This is the source of humanity's greatest inventions. Whichever type you use, the principle remains. Imagination only develops through use. Like a muscle, the more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Hill advises spend time vividly imagining your goals and brainstorm as many ways to achieve them as possible. Write down at least 10 ways you could earn money or reach your financial objective. Don't worry yet whether they're practical. Let your imagination run free first. Later, you can sort through and act on the best ones. The wealthy are not necessarily the smartest people, but they are certainly the ones who use their imagination more often than others. Hill concludes, every fortune begins with an idea. A single good idea fueled by desire, faith, and a plan can turn an ordinary person into a millionaire. You don't need to invent something world-changing. Sometimes, a simple idea that helps many people is enough to build wealth. So let your imagination work. Nurture it every day, because within your own mind may lie an idea worth millions of dollars. Principle 6. Organized planning, turning ideas into action. Desire is the seed, faith is the energy, imagination gives you the ideas. But all of this means nothing if it is not transformed into organized action. Napoleon Hill emphasizes successful people are those who make plans and follow them. In contrast, unsuccessful people often act on impulse, without strategy and without a clear direction. You may have a well-defined financial goal, but without a concrete action map, you'll get lost in a maze of opportunities and obstacles. A plan is the bridge that takes you from idea to reality. One of Hill's most important principles is this: you cannot and should not plan alone. Build your plan with a mastermind group, a team of people whose knowledge, experience, and skills complement your own. This, in fact, is the foundation of the mastermind principle that Hill explores in later chapters. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb by himself. He had a team of scientists working alongside him. Henry Ford's success came not from his personal genius in every field, but from his ability to gather experts who were smarter than him. That's why the best plans are always the product of collaboration, not solo effort. Hill also teaches that no plan is perfect at the beginning. You will face failure, and that's normal. The unsuccessful quit when their first plan fails. The successful adapt, adjust, and try again with a new plan. That's why Hill advises always have a backup plan. Don't cling stubbornly to one single approach. If path A is blocked, take path B, then C. The plan is only a means. The goal is what truly matters. Organized planning is the process of turning desire and imagination into daily action. Hill writes, "A person without a plan is planning to fail." So write out a clear plan. What will you do today, this week, this month to move closer to your financial goal? Build a supportive team around you. Learn to adjust when setbacks come. Because in the end, wealth does not come from vague ideas. It comes from plans that are executed with persistence and discipline.
Principle 7. Decision, the starting point of all success. Napoleon Hill observed that successful people develop the habit of making decisions quickly and changing them very slowly, if at all. On the other hand, unsuccessful people procrastinate, hesitate, change their minds often, and rarely take decisive action. Indecision is the enemy of desire. You may have a brilliant idea and a perfect plan, but if you do not decide to act, it will remain nothing more than a dream. Strong, definite decisions are the turning point where dreams become reality. Hill found that the single most common reason people fail is procrastination, the inability to make decisions. And behind procrastination always lies fear, fear of failure, fear of criticism, fear of losing money, fear of being wrong. But remember, every great success story is filled with failures along the way. The difference is that successful people refuse to let fear stop them from deciding and moving forward. Ask yourself, what is something I've wanted to do for a long time but haven't decided to start? Am I letting fear control me? The answer may hold the key to your next breakthrough in life. Throughout history, every revolution and every great change has begun with a single decision. For example, the 56 men who signed the Declaration of Independence made a bold and final decision, knowing it could cost them their lives. That decision reshaped the course of human history. On a personal level, a single timely decision, starting a business, making an investment, learning a new skill, or breaking a destructive habit can completely transform your life. Decision is a power we all possess, but not everyone dares to use it. Hill wrote, "The world has the habit of making way for the person who knows where they are going." Decision is the spark that ignites desire. It turns words into action and plans into reality. So from today forward, train yourself to decide more quickly, more clearly, and with greater resolute. Don't let your life slip away in hesitation. Choose the path you want, and the world will open the way for you. Principle 8. Persistence, the steady power that turns desire into reality. Napoleon Hill wrote, "A strong desire plus persistence equals success." Almost everyone has dreams, but the reason most people never achieve them is not because they lack intelligence or opportunity, it's because they lack persistence. Successful people are not those who have never failed, but those who never give up. Every time they fall, they rise again, learn the lesson, and keep moving forward. Remember this, failure is only a signal saying, "This way doesn't work, try another." And persistence is the power that keeps you going until you find the right path. Hill identified 4 major reasons why people quit. Lack of definite desire. If you don't truly crave success, you'll give up the moment things get hard. Lack of self-confidence. Those who don't believe in themselves won't have the courage to persist. Lack of a clear plan. Not knowing what to do next quickly leads to discouragement. Listening to others' opinions.
Criticism, doubt, and negativity from those around you often destroy your determination. Do you recognize yourself in any of these? If so, remember, persistence begins when you eliminate these enemies. Persistence is not something you are born with, it is a habit you can develop. Hill suggests 4 steps to build persistence. Define a clear goal and a burning desire to achieve it. Create a definite plan and take daily action, no matter how small. Refuse to let criticism or temporary failure discourage you. Build a mastermind group, people who will encourage you when you feel like quitting. Each day you practice persistence, your willpower grows stronger. Hill concludes, persistence is the dividing line between success and failure. Most people give up when they are just one step away from victory. Only those who persist reach the finish line. Remember, no one is ever truly defeated until they stop trying. Failure doesn't really exist. It is only a lesson on the road to success. So if you have a great desire, ask yourself, do I have the persistence to see it through to the end? If your answer is yes, then success is already yours. Principle 9. The power of the mastermind. Napoleon Hill called the mastermind the secret principle that creates the real power of the wealthy. He defined it as the coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between 2 or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. In other words, the mastermind is collective power. One person alone may be talented, but when many minds work together, sharing ideas, energy, and motivation, the strength multiplies many times over. That is why billionaires, inventors, and great leaders never walk alone. Behind each of them is always a mastermind group. Take Henry Ford as an example. He was not highly educated, but he surrounded himself with top experts in engineering, management, and finance. It was thanks to this mastermind group that Ford built an automobile empire that transformed the world. Thomas Edison did the same. In his laboratory, he worked with more than 30 brilliant scientists. Edison was the spark of ideas, but his team turned those ideas into reality. Hill emphasized, no one ever truly succeeds alone. Every great success is the result of an alliance. Hill went further to say that when 2 or more minds work together in harmony, an invisible power emerges, an energy of higher intelligence, almost like a third mind. Have you ever experienced this? When you're in conversation with a friend, ideas flow, creativity sparks, and insights appear that you would never have thought of on your own. That is the power of the mastermind. It's like connecting multiple batteries together to generate a much greater current. So how do you apply this principle? Build your own mastermind group. Find people who share your vision or who have skills that complement yours. Meet regularly. Discuss goals, plans, challenges, and work together on solutions. Keep harmony. A mastermind only works when there is respect and cooperation, not competition or conflict. Commit to mutual support. Each member must give as well as receive knowledge, energy, and encouragement. If you don't yet have a mastermind group, start building one today. It could be the turning point in your journey. Hill concludes that the mastermind is the 5th source of power you can tap into. Money, experience, and personal intelligence have limits, but when you connect with others, you create a force that is nearly unlimited. Success is never a solo act. It is the blending of many minds, many desires, and many hearts. So ask yourself, who will be in my mastermind group? Am I still walking alone? Or am I ready to connect and multiply my power? The answer may be the very key that unlocks the door to your wealth.
Principle 10. The mystery of sex transmutation. Napoleon Hill believed that sexual energy is the most powerful of all human emotions. When transmuted, that is, redirected away from mere physical gratification and toward creativity,
ambition, leadership, art, or business, it becomes the driving force behind extraordinary achievement. Great men and women often possess intense desire, but what makes them remarkable is their ability to elevate that desire into passion, endurance, and vision. It is not about suppression, but about redirection. Channel emotional energy into goals and creative work. Cultivate love, romance, and harmonious intimacy. These higher emotions raise the vibration of thought and sharpen intelligence. Use music, movement, art, writing, and other creative outlets as transformers that convert raw energy into productivity and value. When properly transmuted, this energy gives you heightened focus, abundant imagination, greater stamina, more persuasive communication, and stronger leadership presence. Flashes of inspiration often appear more frequently when you are in love, deeply passionate, and at the same time, disciplined. Design your own transmutation ritual. Begin with 15 to 20 minutes of physical exercise, meditation, or uplifting music, then read your goals out loud. Dedicate 90 minutes of deep work to a creative project. Keep an emotional journal. Turn every surge of feeling into concrete action. Maintain discipline of both body and mind, adequate rest, regular training, so that your energy remains abundant and under control. Principle 11. The power of the subconscious mind. Napoleon Hill taught that the subconscious mind is the bridge between our human mind and the universe. It is the place where every idea, belief, and emotion is stored, and where they are quietly transformed into actions, habits, and ultimately, reality. Think of it this way. Your conscious mind is like the gardener planting seeds, while your subconscious is the soil. The soil doesn't care whether the seed is good or bad. It simply nurtures whatever is planted. If you sow belief, desire, and positive images, your subconscious will grow success. But if you sow fear, doubt, and negativity, failure will surely follow. The subconscious works around the clock, even when you sleep. It records and processes everything you think, hear, and feel. This means that every thought you repeat over and over becomes imprinted into your subconscious and eventually becomes a belief. That belief then shapes your emotions, drives your actions, and in the end, determines your destiny. That is why Napoleon Hill emphasized, you become what you think about most of the time. If you constantly dwell on wealth, your subconscious will guide you to actions that create wealth. If you constantly dwell on fear and scarcity, your subconscious will bring more of that into your reality as well. The good news is you can consciously program your subconscious mind. Hill suggested 3 powerful methods. Affirmations. Repeat positive statements about your goals, such as, I am becoming wealthier and more successful every day. Visualization. Each day, close your eyes and imagine yourself already living your goals. Feel the joy and pride as if it were real. Emotional intensity. The subconscious responds most strongly to emotion. So attach powerful feelings, faith, excitement, even anger at poverty to your desire. When repeated consistently, these practices leave deep impressions on your subconscious, turning it into an invisible partner working tirelessly to bring your goals to life. But remember, the subconscious does not judge right or wrong, good or bad. It simply carries out whatever you allow to enter. If you let criticism, doubt, negative news, or fear dominate your thoughts, you are planting harmful seeds, and one day they will grow into obstacles in your life. That is why Hill urged us, guard the gateway to your mind. Allow only positive ideas, emotions, and beliefs to enter. You are the gatekeeper of your subconscious. Never let anyone else plant destructive seeds in it. Hill concluded that the subconscious mind is a silent force, yet it holds the power to decide the difference between poverty and prosperity. If you learn to plant the right seeds, desire, faith, and positive imagery, your subconscious will open the path to success. So begin today. Write down your goals, repeat them with absolute conviction. Visualize yourself already achieving them every morning when you wake and every night before you sleep. Do this consistently, and you'll be amazed as life begins to shift in the exact direction you've programmed your subconscious to follow.
Principle 12. The brain. Hill described the brain as both a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. When fueled by strong emotions, faith, love, enthusiasm, its broadcasting power increases, making it easier to pick up flashes of intuition, ideas from the subconscious, from your mastermind group, and even from what he called infinite intelligence. 3 natural amplifiers of the brain. Positive emotion, faith, desire. Read your affirmations with genuine feeling. Environment, mastermind, and input. Your brain synchronizes with the people and ideas you surround yourself with. Body, sleep, nutrition, movement. Physical health forms the foundation for both sending and receiving mental signals effectively. But just as the brain can be amplified, it can also be polluted. Doubt and negative information act like static on the signal. To protect your mental frequency, limit toxic input. Replace self-talk of "I can't" with "How can I?" Capture every hunch or sudden idea immediately, then test it through small practical action. A 15-minute daily practice to tune your brain. Breathe deeply and quiet your mind. Read your affirmations with strong emotion. Visualize the result as if it's already real. Ask your subconscious a clear question. What's my next leverage step? Write down 3 ideas that surface and act on at least one of them right away. With repetition, your brain becomes more finely tuned, able to catch the right signals at the right time, guiding you closer to your goals. Principle 13. The sixth sense. Hill described the sixth sense as a higher channel of intuition, a gateway through which infinite intelligence sends guidance. It cannot be learned through rigid formulas. Instead, it emerges naturally after you have disciplined yourself with the 12 prior principles: desire, faith, autosuggestion, imagination, persistence, the mastermind, and so on. It often arises as a sudden flash of inspiration, a subtle warning, or a deep knowing without explanation. The sixth sense doesn't replace reason. Your role is to receive it, record it, and then test it with small experiments before expanding your actions. How to invite the sixth sense. Create quiet moments, early morning, solitary walks. Use the question before sleep ritual. Ask a specific question at night, then write down the first idea that comes upon waking. Keep an intuition journal. Track your insights and rate their accuracy over time. This builds trust in your inner guidance system. When intuition and logic align, decisions become fast and accurate. When they don't, pause briefly and gather more data.
Over time, you'll sense the exact sweet spot for major action. Hill called this the pinnacle of personal development, the stage where you can see the path ahead before others even recognize it. My dear friend, we've just walked through all 13 timeless principles of Think and Grow Rich, a book that has transformed the financial mindset of millions around the world. But the most important thing is not that you've listened to them all. It's that you start taking action today. By applying even the smallest principle consistently each day, you will begin to see changes, not only in your financial life, but also in your confidence and self-belief. If you found these insights valuable, don't forget to hit like and follow this channel so you won't miss the upcoming audiobooks, powerful books that will reshape your financial thinking, expand the way you see money, and guide you to true wealth and freedom. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next journey, where more great books will continue to walk with you on the path to success and prosperity.